Good day everyone. So for today's we discuss what is all about computer security and threats. So what is security? So, ano nga ba ang security? When you heard security, what comes on your mind? Tama. Tama lahat ng sinabi nyo. It's all about um, the passwords, social media, and etc. etc. But security is the state of being safe. So, ayun. Dako na tayo sa ating lesson. It's all about computer security. A computer security is security applied to computing devices such as computers and smartphones, as well as computer networks such as private and public networks, including the whole internet. The field covers all the processes and mechanisms by which digital equipment, information services are protected from unintended or unauthorized access. Change or destruction are growing importance in line with increasing reliance on computer systems of most societies worldwide. It includes physical security to prevent the equipment and information security to protect the data on the equipment. It is sometimes referred to as cybersecurity or IT security. Though these terms generally do not refer to physical security. Computer security deals with prevention and detection of unauthorized actions by users of a computer system. Computer security is concerned with the measures we can take to deal with intentional actions by parties behaving in some unwelcome fashion. So, ang computer security rather, ay mahalaga sa isang computer natin because pag meron tayo nito is hindi basta-basta ma-attack ng mga attackers ang ating computers. So next is important terms used in computer security. First is vulnerability. Vulnerability is a weakness which allows an attacker to reduce a system's information assurance. Vulnerability is the intersection of three elements: a system susceptibility or flow, attacker access to the flow, and attacker capability to exploit the flow. To exploit vulnerability, an attacker must have at least one applicable tool or technique that can connect to a system weakness in this frame. Vulnerability is also known as the attack surface. Vulnerability management is cyclical practice or identifying, classifying, remediating, and mitigating vulnerabilities. This practice generally refers to software vulnerabilities in computing systems. So, ang vulnerability ay isa sa weakness ng ating computers. So, kaya minsan na-attack ng mga attackers ang ating computer. So, this is importance to terms used in computer security. Next is backdoors. A backdoor in a computer system is a method of bypassing normal authentication, securing remote access to a computer, obtaining access to plain text, and so on, while attempting to remain undetected. The backdoor may take the form of an installed program or could be modification to an existing program or hardware device. It may also fake information about disk and memory usage. So, ito namang backdoors is, ito yung ginagamit ng mga attackers is disk or memory. So, doon nilalagay yung codes para pag nilagay mo yung disk sa iyong computer is mapapadali nilang ma-attack yung iyong computers. Next is denial of service attack. Unlike other exploits, denial of service attacks are not used to gain unauthorized access or control of a system. They are instead designed to render it unusable. Attackers can deny service to individual victims, such as by deliberately entering a wrong password enough consecutive times to cause the victim account to be locked. Or they may overload the capabilities of machine or network and block all users at once. These types of attack are in practice very hard to prevent because the behavior of full networks needs to be analyzed, not only behavior of small pieces of code. Distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks are common, where a large number of compromised hosts, commonly referred to as zombie computers, used as a part of botnet, with, for example, a worm, Trojan horse, or backdoor exploit to control them, are used to flood a target system with network requests, thus attempting to render it unusable through resource exhaustion. So itong denial of service attack is ito yung pinakamahirap na ma-prevent because hindi lang yung behavior ng isa kundi the whole networks need to be analyzed. And hindi lang basta-basta unti yung codes. Lahat ng codes is damay. So, yan yung denial code. Mahirap siyang i-prevent mga attackers. Next is direct access attack. Direct access attacks, an unauthorized user gaining physical access to a computer, can perform many functions, install different types of devices to compromise security, including operating system modifications, software worms, keyloggers, and convert listening devices. The attacker can also easily download a large quantities of data onto backup media. For instance, CDR, DVD-R type or portable devices such as key drives, digital cameras, or digital audio players. Another common technique is to boot an operating system contained on CD-ROM or other bootable media and read the data from the hard drives. This way. The only way to defeat this is encrypt the storage media and store the key separate from the system. Direct access attacks are only type of standalone computers. So ito namang direct access attack is madali siyang ito yung gaining physical access to a computer. It includes operating systems and softwares. The keyloggers, worm software, so ayun siya. So next is important terms in computer important terms used in computer security pa rin. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is the act of superstitiously listening to a private conversation, typically between hosts on a network, for instance programs, such as Carnivores and Narus Insight having been used by the FBI and NSA to eavesdrop on the systems of internet service providers. So, itong eavesdropping, ito yung surreptitiously listening. Ito yung tagapakinig sa conversation between hosts on a network. Kunwari, magkatawag yung what we say, dito? Example, magkatawag yung dalawang person or dalawang tao. Habang nagtatawag sila is may nakikinig sa kanilang conversation or the convo. For instance program, pwede ding NARS by FBI and NSA or the NSA to eavesdrop on the systems of internet service providers. Halimbawa ang kanila, may nag-uusap na dalawa. Yung isa is scammer. Tapos, yung isa yung ini-scam niya. So, dahil na-scam yung iba, is pwede nilang yung conversation nila is pwedeng kunin ng FBR or the NSA to the on network. Kasi hindi lang naman yung dalawang taong nag-uusap ang pwedeng makinig, kundi the network. So, ayun siya. Ayun ang eavesdropping. Next is spoofing. Spoofing of user identifier describes situation in which one person or program successfully masquerades as another by falsifying data and thereby gaining an illegitimate advantage. So, ayun. Next one is tampering. Tampering describes an intentional modification products in a way that would make them harmful to the consumer. So, ang tampering naman, ang intention nito is modification of products in a way that would make them harmful to the consumer. So, next is repudiation. Repudiation describes a situation where the authenticity of a signature is being challenged. So, ayun. Medyo mahirap tong repudiation. Next, information disclosure. So, information disclosure or privacy breach or data leak describes a situation where information through as secure is released in an untrusted environment. Elevation of privilege describes a situation where a person or a program want to gain elevated privilege or access to resources that are normally restricted to it. So, ang information disclosure is ito yung security mo. To elevation of privilege describe situation program want to gain elevated. So, ayun siya. Exploits. Next is exploits. Exploits is a pieces of software, a chunk of data, or sequence of commands that takes advantage of a software bug or glitch in order to cause unintended or unanticipated behavior to occur on computer software, hardware, or something electronic. This frequently includes such things as gaining control of computer systems or allowing privilege escalation or denial of service attack. The term exploit generally refers to a small program designed to take advantage of software flaw that has been discovered, either remote or local. The code from the exploit program is frequently reused in Trojan horses and computer viruses. So, ang exploit pala is the code, ang isang code program that frequently reuse the Trojan horses and the computer viruses. So, ito yung exploits. Next is the top 10 cybercrime prevention tips. First, so this top 10 cybercrime, you need to know this because ito yung mga kung paano ma-prevent yung mga attackers. First is use strong passwords. Use different user ID, password combinations for different accounts and avoid writing them down. Make the password more complicated by combining letters, numbers, special characters, the minimum 10 characters in total, and change them on a regular basis. So, itong use strong password is huwag kayong maglagay ng password na mabilis silang ma-attack ng o malalaman ng mga attackers. Dapat, we need to combine numbers and letters para yung mga attackers is mahirapan silang malaman yung passwords mo. Hindi ka agad-agad malalaman yung nilagay mong password. Next, secure your computer. Activate your firewall. Firewalls are the first line of cyber defense. They block connections to unknown or bogus sites and will keep out some types of viruses and hackers. So, itong secure your computer is maganda siya. Because they block connections to unknown or bogus sites. So, yung mga unknown site is nabablock sila. And the third is the social media savvy. Make sure your social networking profiles are set to private. Check your security settings. Be careful when information you post online. Once it is on the internet, it is there forever. So, ayun nga, di ba? Sabi nga nila, think a million times before you click. Diba? Wag basta-basta post sa social media ng baka doon din ma-attack yung yung social media na ginagamit mo or the computer. Next is secure your mobile devices. Be aware that your mobile device is vulnerable to viruses and hackers. Download applications from trusted sources. So, ang sinasabi ng number 4 is secure your mobile devices. Dapat, alam nyo daw yung mga device na vulnerable sa mga viruses and hackers. So, di ba sa sa Play Store, lahat ng hindi naman siguro lahat. Basta yung mga dina-download natin is nakikita naman bago mo i-download doon is protect. May sinasabi siyang wait. Like this one. Balik tayo sa PowerPoint mamaya. Punta tayo sa Play Store. Kunwari mag-download tayo ng kahit ano. So, mahina yung ating internet. Ayaw niya mag-download. Kunwari, yan. Pag in-install natin yan, ayan. Makikita nyo yung verified by Play Protect. Ayan, makikita nyo dan yung verified by Protect. So, ayan siya. Verified siya na wala siyang virus. So, pag sa Chrome ka nag-download, it means yun yung mga may virus na anong tawag dito? Na apps. And number 5 is install the latest operating system updates. Keep your application and operating system current with the latest system updates. Turn on automatic updates to prevent potential attacks or on older software. So, lahat naman siguro ng devices natin, it's either is may tawag dito, operating system updates. Dapat we need to update it para we need to update the latest the latest operating system para mas maganda yung hindi basta-basta ma-attack. Number 6. Protect your data. Use encryption for your most sensitive files such as tax returns to financial records. Make regular backups of all important data and store in other locations. So, ayun, dapat dito sa number 6, protect your data. Dapat use an encryption. Gawa kayo ng privacy nyo. Yung walang nakakaalam, kayo lang yung nakakaalam ng password or the pin or pattern and etc. etc. Dapat kayo lang yung nakakaalam din. You need to store them to your protect your data. Number 7, secure your wireless network. Wi-Fi. Networks at home are vulnerable to intrusion if they are not properly secured. Review and modify default setting. Public Wi-Fi hotspot are also vulnerable. Avoid conducting financial or corporate transactions on this network. So, nakakaano din pala yung Wi-Fi and the hotspot. Ngayon ko lang to alam na pwede din palang gamitin sa viruses and the attackers, the hackers sa hotspot. Number 8, protect your e-identity. Be cautious when giving out personal information such as your name, address, phone number, or financial information on the internet. Make sure the websites are secure or that you've enabled privacy settings. So, itong protect your e-identity, sa social media is huwag basta-basta magtiwala sa kahit kanino. Unless kung kakilala mo naman talagang tao or friend mo or family mo or kabarangay mo. But kung hindi mo siya gaano kilala or nag-message lang, halimbawa, stranger, nakilala mo lang sa internet. So, ayun, may halimbawa na lang, may i-offer siya na trabaho sa iyo. But you need to pay. You need to pay money. That is isang scam. What we call the scam. Or kasi sabi dito is your personality, your name, your address. So, halimbawa naman ito is sa isang stranger na nakilala mo na akala mo mabait, hiningi yung number mo, yung address, yung name mo, syempre. Tapos, yung address ng bahay mo. Hiningi niya yun. Tapos, pag nahingi niya na yun, halimbawa, pag umalis kayo sa bahay niyo, kunwari na lang, nag-outing kayo. So, di mo alam na naibigay mo pala yung address. Which is, di mo inakala na yung pinagbigyan mo ng address mo is magnanakaw pala or akyat bahay. Kaya, we need to protect our e-identity. Next is 9. Avoid being scammed. Always think before you click on a link or file of unknown origin. Do not feel pressured by any emails. Check the source of the message. When in doubt, verify the source. Never reply to emails that ask you to verify your information or confirm your user ID or password. So, ayun. Iwasan ma-scam sa social media or because marami kasing mga taong manloloko ngayon. Kasi pag once na na-hack yung isang account mo, pwede nilang gamitin ito sa kasamaan. And wag basta-basta mag-click ng mga link kung wala kang knowledge or hindi mo alam na ikakapahamak mo na pala yung link na yun, mahahack pala yung account mo. Last is call the right person for help. Don't panic. If you are a victim, if you encounter illegal internet content, Or if you suspect a computer crime, identity theft, or commercial scam, report this to your local police. If you need help with maintenance or software installation or your computer, consult with your service provider or a certified computer technician. So, ang pinakahuli is tawagan yung may nakakaalam na person or call the right person for help. Tawagan niyo yung may mga nakakaalam. Magpatulong. Doon kayo magpapatulong sa kanila. Wag kung kani-kanino kasi they are not knowledgeable, di ba? Kaya doon dapat kayo sa mas nakakaalam. So, that's the end of my PowerPoint. Next, ano na? Next reporter.
Triad 3 traditional area of computer security. So first is confidentiality, refers to protecting information from being accessed by unauthorized parties. In other words, only the people who are authorized to do so can gain access to sensitive data. Example, imagine your bank account records. You should be able to access them of course, and employees. The bank who are helping you with a transaction should be able to access them, but no one else should. Failure maintain confidential means that someone who should have access has managed to get it through intentional behavior or by accident. Key value is added to plain text and numeric value of range from 0 to 25. So that is the sample. Pakicheck na lang. So next is the affine. It's the type of monoalphabetic substitution keeper where each letter in an alphabet is mapped to its numeric equivalent encrypted using a simple mathematical function and converted back to a letter for formula use. Means that each letter crypt to one another letter and back again, meaning the keeper is essentially a standard substitution keeper with a rule governing which letter goes to which. As such, it has the weakness of all substitution keeper. Each letter is encrypted with the function. So AX plus B, MOD 26, where B is the magnitude of shift. So example, check na lang sa module. So next na tayo, encrypting. In the encrypting example, plain text to the encrypted is a fine keeper using the table mentioned above for the numeric value of each letter token A to B 5 to B 8 and N to B 26. Since there are 26 characters in the alphabetic use, only the value of has a restrict since it has to be compared with 26. The possible values that could be are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 15, and etc. The value for B can be arbitrary as long as those not equal 1, since this is the shape of the keeper. Thus the description function for this example will be Y and E plus parenthesis X. So this is the example. So paki-check nyo lang. Ay proceed na lang ako sa next topic. Descripting. Kasi itong topic na to is mahaba pa. Mayroon pang dalawang sample. Dalawang topic. Kaya ito lang ay yung mga example na explain ko naman na kung ano yung nauna. example, the keeper text that will be encrypted in the keeper text from encryption example, the corresponding description. So this is the example. So second one is polyalphabetic citation keeper. So yung nauna, yung number 1. So number 2 na to. In polyalphabetic keeper, each occurrence of a character may different substitution. The relationship between character, plain text, keyword text is 1 to many. So these are the some auto keeper, hill keeper, auto keeper, playfair keeper, wagery keeper, hill keeper, auto keeper. So auto keeper in this keeper key stream of subkey in which subkey is used to encrypt the corresponding character in the plain text. Here, first subkey is predefined and second subkey is the value of the first character of the plain text. Third subkey is the value of the second plain text, so on. So playkeeper and playfair keeper is secret key is made of 25 character arranged in 5 times 5 metric rules. If two letters in plain text are located in the same row of the secret key, then the corresponding crypted character for each letter is next letter to the right. If two letters in the pair are in same column, then the corresponding encrypted character is next below in the same column. So if two letters are neither in the same row, in the same column, then encrypted character in its own row but in the same column as the other character. So the playfair keeper use a 5-by table containing keyword, phrase memorization of the keyword, and for simple rules was all that was required to create the 5-by 5 table and use the keeper to generate the key table. One should first fill the space in table as modified polygons square with the letters of keyword dropping any duplicate letters. Then fill the remaining spaces with the rest of the letters of the alphabet in order, usually omitting J or Q to reduce the alphabet to fit other version both of I and J in the same space. The key can be written in the top row of the tables from left to right, or some other pattern such as string beginning in the upper left and left hand comma and ending in the center. The keyword together with convention for filling the 5-by 5 table constitute the keeper key to encrypt a message 1. So these are the examples. So I think kita nyo na lang to. So number 1 is, so an odd number of characters usually append an uncommon letter such as X to complete the final diagram. The two letters of diagram are considered opposite corners of a rectangle in key table. To perform the substitution, apply to the following 4 rules in order to each pair of letters in plain text. Number 1 is both letters are the same or only one letter is left, added an X after the first letter, encrypt. The new pair of continuous sum after the first letter, encrypt. The new pair of continuous sum variant of player follows Q instead of X, but any letter itself uncommon as an repeated pair. I will do. Pair will do. So number 2, if the letters of person the same row, of your table, replace them with the letters to their immediate right respectively. So, wrapping around the left side of the row, if a letter in the original pair was on the right side of the row. So, number 3, if the letters appear on the same column of your table, replace them with the letters immediately below, respectively, wrapping around to a letter in original pair was on the bottom side of column. So number 4 is, if the letters are not on the same row or the column, replace them with the letters on the same row respectively but at the other pair of corners of the rectangle defined by original pair. The order important. The first letter of the encrypted pair is the one that is on the same row as the first letter of the plain text pair. So, let's proceed na lang sa number 2 kasi panay example naman na ito. Mga transposition keeper, keyless transposition keeper. So, key transposition keeper number 2. Number 3, combining two approaches. So, dito lang tayo sa integrity. So, number 2, integrity in the context of computer system refers to method of ensuring that data is real, accurate, and safeguarded from unauthorized user modification. Integrity is one of the 5 pillars of information assurance, IA, information assurance. To the other form are authentication, availability, confidentiality, and non-repudiation data integrity. Maintenance is an information security requirement. Integrity is a major IA component because users must be able to trust information. Untrusted data is devoid of integrity. Stored data must remain in chains with an information system, as well as during data transport event like storage, erosion, error, and intentional data or system damage can create data changes. For example, hackers may cause damage by flirting system with malware, including Trojan horses which overtake computer system, as well as worm, viruses. An employee may create company damage through intentional faults. Do the data entry, data integrity verification measure include checksums and the use of data comparison. So, tools for integrity. Number 1 is physical access control, computer-based access control. Third is checksum value that can be used to check for random changes like transmission on or storage noises. Protecting against intentional changes requires stronger cryptographic tools. Backups are used to restore data in unauthorized things are noticed. So, cryptographic tools for integrity, digital signature or mark created using a key. Integrity is checked by detecting changes in stored or transmitted data by comparing a newly generated verification item with old one. The idea is that it should be hard to create the correct verification item without the key confidentiality and integrity confidentiality and protection are often based on the same techniques. No physical access to storage media. So these are some access control on a logical access pass to data, cryptographic technique. So the last Um, the last one is availability. Refers to authorize a user that can freely access the system networks as data needed to perform their daily tasks, resolving hardware and software conflict as long with regular maintenance is crucial to keep system up and available. So tools for availability. Number one is protection against physical threats and attacks. Uninterruptible power supply, unit uninterruptible power supplies, fire perquisition, flooding perquisition, temperature and humidity control, storm resistant building, hindering secondary damage from data integrity attacks, backs up, and backs up. Countermeasure against system overload, redundancy in server farms or these risk, equipment that can detect and counter those attacks, countermeasure against system crashing, and I check all user input for out and bands value, switch off unused service and function. And the last, and of course, follow the install supplier updates and patches. So that's are my reporting.
This security. So security. Application security is the types of cybersecurity which developing application by adding security features within applications to prevent from cyber threats. So the threat can be SQL injection, denial of service, or DOS attacks, data breaches, or other cyber attacks. There are some application security tools such as firewalls, antivirus software, encryption, web application firewall, and other security devices which can help to prevent from cyber attacks. So, application security, ito daw po ay halimbawa ng mga antivirus software sa ating mga computer. So, pinipigilan niyo po ang pagpasok ng mga viruses sa ating software. So, ninonotif din po tayo ng mga to, application security. Ninonotif tayo if mayroon virus sa ating computer. So, these are the categories of application threats. Here are the most common categories of application threats related to software or application which are given below. So, dito tayo sa input validation. Input validation or data validation is the process of correct testing of any input that is provided by a user. So it is a difficult to detect a malicious user who is trying to attack the software and application. So it should check and validate all input data which will enter into a system. So here is a list of some vulnerabilities that could be solved just by validating input. Buffer overflow, SQL injection, DOS, cross-site scripting, information disclosure. So, example, a student age might be 14, but if 11 is entered, it will be valid but incorrect. So, dito tayo sa authorization. Authorization is a security mechanism which used to determine user privileges or access of system resources such as computer programs, files, services, data, and application features. So, sabi dito, it gives users permission to access a resources. So, it is the process of verifying whether access is allowed or not. So, Parang ikaw, kung papasok ka sa isang resources, kunyari sa Google Chrome, meron kang i-download na file, sasabihin dito kung gusto mo bang talagang i-download to, then lalabas yung yes or no. So, yun ang authorization. So, yeah. Session management. Dito tayo sa letter C, session management. So, session management is a process used by the web container to securing multiple requests to a service from the same user or entity. There are two types of session management. So, the one is cookie based and the other one is URL rewriting. A web administration uses session management to track the frequency of visits on application and movement within the sites. Here are the list of some session-related vulnerabilities such as hijacking session, replay session, and man in the middle HTC. So, yun. Session management. So, halimbawa na lamang ay sa Edmodo. Kapag ito ay ating binuksan, malalaman ng ating guro kung ito ba ay ating nabuksan na o hindi pa. Lalo na sa mga quiz. So, kunwari, quiz, binuksan natin ito. Tapos, magtitik tayo ulit. Ito ay malalaman ng ating mga guro. So, it is used to facilitate secure interactions between the users and some service or application. So, you know, session management. So, di tayo. Parameter tampering. Parameter tampering is a technique which malicious hackers attempt to compromise an application through manipulating parameters in URL string. It is a simple attack targeting the application business logic in order to modify application data such as user credentials and permissions, price, and quantity of products. So, dito tayo sa pangalawa. Information security. So, information security, known as IS, is the types of computer security which refers to the process and methodology to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer system from authorized access, use, modification, and destructions. So, it focuses on the CIA triad model, so which is the ensure confidentiality, confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data without affecting organization productivity. So, information security. It helps to protect digital data and other kinds of information. So, pinaprotektahan niya po ang iba't ibang informasyon, ibang data. So, dito tayo sa number 3, network security. Network security is other types of IT security which process a preventing and protecting against unauthorized intrusion into computer networks. It is a set of rules and configurations which is designed to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and accessibility of computer network system and information using both software and hardware technologies. Network security. So, network security. This one helps to protect our workstations and from harmful spyware. So, these are ito daw po yung mga there are many methods to improve network security system. So, kailangan natin ng antivirus, software, application security, behavioral analytics, data loss prevention, email security, firewalls, mobile device security, network segmentation, security information event management, virtual private networks, web security, wireless security, network access control. So, ito daw ang mga kailangan natin para mag-improve ang ating network security system. So, endpoint security, number 4. Human error is a major weak point, which is easily exploited by cyber criminals. And users are becoming the largest security risk in any organizations. So, however, an end user has no fault of their own and mostly due to a lack of awareness and ICT policy. They can unintentional open the virtual gates of cyber attackers. So that why comprehensive security policies, procedures, and protocols have to be understood in depth by users who are accessing the sensitive information. So it is better to providing security awareness training program to them and should cover the following topics: cybersecurity threats, phishing, and social engineering attack, possible creation and usage, device security, and physical security. So endpoint security is the practice of securing endpoints or entry points of end users' devices, such as desktop, laptops, and mobile devices from being exploited by malicious actions and campaigns. So, yeah. So, number 5 tayo. Internet security. Internet security is the important types of computer security, which has defined as a process to create set of rules and actions to protect computer systems that are connected to the internet. So it is a branch of computer security that deals specifically with internet-based threats, such as internet security daw. Ito daw ay importanteng computer security sa dahil it focus on the specific threats and vulnerabilities of online access and use of the internet. So dito, iba't ibang mga bantaan na posibleng mangyari. So, ang una ay hacking. So, a hacker is a person who finds weakness and exploits vulnerability in computer system or network to gain access. Hacking refers to activity that exploits a computer system or a network in order to gain unauthorized access of control over system for illegal purpose. So, hacking. Ang hacker ay ang tao mismong nang-hack or yung taong nang-hack siya yung nagpo-program para makakuha ng mga information o makagawa ng masamang gawain gamit ang pag-hack. So, yan. Letter B is computer viruses. A computer virus is a software program that can spread from one computer system to another computer without user knowledge and perform malicious action. So it has capability to corrupt or damage data, destroy files, format hard drives, or make disks unreadable. So ito, ang computer viruses ay kaya sumira ng mga files. Kaya din sirain ito ang inyong mga computer. Ito ay kumakalat sa nasa pamamagitan ng transfer ng file galing sa ibang computer. So, yan. There are different types of computer virus which are as follows. So, ito. Iba't ibang klaseng computer virus. Boot sector virus, direct action virus, president virus, macro multi-party file infector, browser hijacker, polymorphic virus, web scripting virus. So, maaaring kumalat na virus sa pamamagitan ng pag-download ng software or files, email attachment, phishing emails, external devices, online advertisement, click on malicious files, infected website, copying data from infected computer. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. So, unsolicited email, social media, scam links. So, yung mga pag-open ng links natin. Yan din ang isang dahilan kung bakit nagkaka-virus sa ating computer pag-open ng mga links. So, letter C, denial of service attacks. A denial of service attacks or DOS attack is an attack that shut down a system and making it inaccessible to the users. It occurs when an attacker prevents legitimate users from accessing specific computer system, devices, or other resources. In addition, DOS attack typically flooding a target system with requests until normal traffic is unable to be processed, resulting in denial of service to users. So, denial of service attack. So, ito ay may masamang epekto, lalo na sa mga online account natin, private data, emails, websites, and other platforms that depends on the compromised computer or network. So, yun ang denial service attacks. So, malware. Malware is short for malicious software that typically consists of software program or a code. It is developed by cyber attackers, which are designed to extensive damage to data and systems. The malware is delivered in the form of a link or file over email, and it requires the user to click the URL link or open the file to execute the malware. There are different types of malware, such as computer viruses, spyware, ransomware, worms, Trojan horses, adware, or an type of malicious code. So, yan. Sa malware daw ay ang ito ay nakukuha sa pag-open ng mga link. So, kaya nitong sumira ng mga files, magnakaw ng information. Yan. So, ito ang malware. Isang program. Malala ang dulot ng malware. So, yan. So, yan po ang mga yan po ang basic security concept of computer, types of computer security.
What is threat? Threat in computer world is called cyber threats and cyber security threats. A cyber or cyber security threat is a malicious act that seeks to damage data, steal data, and disrupt digital life in general. Cyber threats includes computer virus, digital breaches, denial of service attacks, and others attacks vector. Where do cyber threats come from? Cyber threats come from numerous threats actors including hostile nation state, terrorist group, corporate spies, and organized crime organization. Hacktivists, disgruntled insides, hackers, natural hazard, accidental action of authorized user.
Hardware threats. Hardware is a common cause of data problems. Power can fail. Electronics age.
Add-in boards can be installed wrong, you can mistype. There are accidents of all kinds. A repair technician can actually cause problems, and magnets you don't know are there can damage these. Unfortunately, hardware errors frequently damage data on even young PCs and these. Here are some examples. Power faults. Your PC is busy writing data to the disk and the lights go out. Is everything okay? Maybe so, maybe not. It's vital to know for sure is if anything was damaged. Other power problems of a similar nature would include brownouts, voltage spikes, and frequent shifts. Brownout. Lower voltage on electrician outlets. Usually they are caused by an extraordinary drain on the power system. Frequently you will see a brownout during a heat wave when more people than normal have air conditioners on full. Voltage spikes. Temporary voltage increases are fairly common. Large motors or circuit breakers in industry can put them on the electrical line. Sudden losses can cause spikes as the circuit's balance frequently shifts. While infrequent, if the line frequency varies from the normal 60 Hz, the power supply on the computer can be affected, and this in turn can reflect back into the computer, causes data loss. Solution. Consider a combined surge protector and uninterruptible power supply. Solution. Make a really good backup before installing anything, hardware or software, so you can revert the system back to a stable state should something crop up. Fingers faults. These are an all too frequent cause of data corruption. This commonly happens when you are intending to delete or replace one file but actually get another. Solution. Be careful and look up now and again to make certain your cursor is where you want it. Malicious or careless damage. Someone may accidentally or deliberately delete or change a file on your PC when you're not around. If you don't keep your PC locked in a safe, then this is a risk. Solution. Never run the computer as an administrative users and have guest accounts available for others who use the computer. Keep up-to-date backups as well. Typhoid Mary. One possible source for computer infections is the customer engineer or repairman. When a CE comes for a service call, they will almost always run a diagnostic program from this kit. Solution. Insist on testing their disk before use or make certain they use an up-to-date antivirus before coming to your location. Magnetic zaps. Computer data is generally stored as a series of magnetic changes on disk. Some of the more subtle of magnetism include computer monitor. Don't put floppy disk anywhere near the monitor, it generates a magnetic field. Telephone. When ringing, telephones generate a magnetic field. Bottom desk drawer. While this drawer does not generate a magnetic field, the bottom lines. There are tools to assist in recovery from these problems, but how do you know all the data is okay? These tools do not always recover good copies of them original files. Summary. There are many different kinds of hardware threats to your data. Some include power faults, age, equipment
incompatibilities, typos, accidental or deliberate damage, the customer engineer or friendly salesperson, problems with magnets and or sources of static electricity, active action on your part can help you identify problems and perhaps head them off early.
Threats to data. Since the invention of computers, people have used the term data to refer to computer information, and this information was either transmitted or stored. But that is not the only data definition. There exist other types of data as well. So, internet security. Na-mention na po to ng other group last time. It is very important because this is a process to create set of rules and actions to protect computer systems that are connected to the internet. This is a branch of computer security that will help or that will lessen the threats in the internet. So one here is threats to data. Bakit nga ba kailangan nating makita o bakit nga ba kailangan natin malaman yung mga threats, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa computer? Kasi this will be or this might be the reasons why our computer system will be exploited or someone will gain unauthorized access that may cause data loss, stealing of information, and unauthorized accesses to your privacy. And also, this will control over your computer and make some illegal purposes. For example, number one will be viruses. Viruses is a computer virus program which can harm our device and files and infect them for no further use. When a virus program is executed, it replicates itself by modifying other computer programs and instead enter its own coding. This code infects a file or program, and if it spreads massively, it may ultimately result in crashing of the device. So mag-end up yung device mo na magka-crash or it won't be able to be used anymore. So virus, a software program that can spread from one computer system to another computer without users' knowledge and performs malicious actions. It has the capability to corrupt or damage data, destroy your files, format your hard drives, and lastly, it will make your disk unreadable. So there are different types of computer viruses, like boot sector, direct action virus, file infector virus, polymorphic virus, web scripting virus. So next is worms. A worm is a standalone malware computer program that replicates itself to spread from one computer to other device. A worm leverages security loopholes to access a target system. Once a worm reaches one computer in a network, it uses the machine as a host to scan and infect other computers. It uses a computer network to spread. So, computer network, yun po yung two or more computers connected in an internet. So, yung ano nga ba kasi yung difference po? What is the difference of virus and worm? The primary difference between a virus and a worm is that viruses must be triggered by the activation of their host, whereas worms are standalone malicious programs that can self-replicate and propagate independently as soon as they have reached the system. Third is spyware. Spyware is unwanted software that infiltrates your computing device, stealing your internet usage, data, and sensitive information. Spyware is classified as a type of malware, malicious software designed to gain access or damage your computer, often without even your knowledge. In the word spy, so it means it will observe your actions. It will steal your internet usage data, or it will also steal your private information by gaining access to your computer even though hindi mo alam. Number 4 is adware. Adware is unwanted software designed to throw advertisements up on your screen, most often with a web browser. Some security professionals view it as a forerunner of modern-day PUP, potential unwanted program. Saan nga ba natin makikita tong adware na to? Mostly, nakikita po natin ito sa mga websites. Try niyong mag-search sa Chrome and then mag-open kayo ng isang site. Di ba may mga magpapakitang mga ads doon? Yung mga ads na, minsan may mga lalaswang ads na nagpapakita. May mga ads na nagpro-promote ng kung ano-ano, tapos maglalagay ka ng mga, magpapalagay sila sa inyo ng mga informations, na mga number. Congratulations, you have won blah blah blah. You have won 50,000. Sign up to gain more information and receive your reward, ganun. So, ito yung mga adware. Mas huwag basta-bastang mag-a-agree or mag-click ng ads kapag nag-open ka ng mga sites. Kasi baka ito rin yung paraan nila para makakuha ng information sa'yo. Number 5 is spam. Spam is unsolicited and unwanted junk email sent out in a bulk to a wholesale recipient list. Typically, spam is sent for commercial purposes. However, spam email can also contain a malicious attempt to gain access to your computer. So, email security becomes an important defense. Dito na papasok yung sa email mostly. Spam is an email that you did not request and do not want. Ito yung mga email na hindi mo naman inopen, hindi mo naman na-request, pero bakit nandun? One person's spam is another's useful newsletter or sale ad. Spam is a common way to spread virus, trojans, and others. Number 6 is phishing. Phishing is a type of social engineering attack that used to steal user data, including login credentials and credit card numbers. It occurs when an attacker masquerading as a trusted entity dupes a victim in opening an email, instant message, or text message. It is pronounced like the word fishing or pangingisda. A message that tries to trick you into providing information. Lalong-lalo na sa mga social security number mo. For example, is your bank account information or login password for a website information. This message may claim that if you do not click on the link in the message, log into a financial website, that your account will be blocked or some other disasters. Parang nagtre-threaten siya. Ito yung kumukumbinsi sa isang tao na i-open yung mga sensitive information niya, pero yun pala, mag-i-steal na sila ng mga informations, private, like your private accounts, bank accounts, tas dun na, matatapos na dun lahat, mawawala na yung mga yung mga laman ng bangko mo, kasi nga, kapag naka-access sila sa information, akala nung nandoon is ikaw yung nag-access sa account mo. Pero iba naman pala yung nag-access kasi nga, nakuha na nila yung information mo. Sila yung nakakuha ng mga private information so they will steal your data. Keyloggers. A keylogger is a piece of generally malicious software or hardware installed on your computer that logs what you type. While they may be legitimately used in your circumstances, they can also be used by cybercriminals to gather personal information and passwords. They can also cause your computer to slow down. It records every keystroke made on your computer. Keyloggers, sila yung mga parang kunwari sa computer mo, tas nag-type ka ng information, madedetect nila kung ano yung nilalagay mo. Kasi malicious software nakalagay na yung malicious software na ito dun sa device mo. Tas matatrack nila, tas marirecord nila yung bawat pinipindot mong key. Kaya malalaman nila kung ano yung nilalagay mo dun. Number 8, rogue security software is a form of malware that designed to trick victims into thinking their computer or device had been infected with a virus. Like legitimate or antivirus products, it displays pop-up messages telling the victim that his or her computer or device has been infected with a virus, misleads users into believing there is a virus on their computer, aims to convince them to pay for a fake malware removal tool that actually installs malware on your computer. Ito na yung trick. Trick ng ibang taong nag-aayos ng cellphone. Sasabihin nila na, "Ma'am, sir, meron pong virus itong cellphone niyo. Kailangan niyo pong mag-install ng ganito, ganyan. Kasi po, baka po, delikado na po yung information nila ng mga delikado na yung mga information na po na nakalagay dito sa computer nyo, makaka-access sila." So, ikaw naman, dala ng takot, matatakot ka, magpapa-install ka ng sinasabi nilang antivirus. Well, in fact, itong antivirus na to, or fake malware removal, ito pala yung totoong malware. So, imbes na mag-install sila ng anti-malware or antivirus sa computer mo, yung ini-install pala nila is type of malware na kukuha ng informations mo. Number 9 is Trojan horse. Trojan horse is type of malicious code or software that looks legitimate but can take control of your computer. A Trojan is designed to damage, disrupt, steal, or in general inflict some other harmful action on your data or network. A Trojan horse has appearance of having useful and desired function. Parang, ito, gamitin mo ako, useful ako, may function ako. Pero, ito, neither replicates nor copies itself but cause damage or compromises the security of the computer. Itong Trojan is pwede itong may carried by another program and pwede itong pumasok in the form of joke program or software of some sort. These are often used to capture your logins and passwords. Number 10 is pharming. Pharming is a cyber attack intended to redirect a website's traffic to another fake site by installing a malicious program on the computer. Pharming can be conducted either by changing the host file into a victim's computer or by exploitation of vulnerability in DNS server software. Itong pharming, nagre-redirect lang siya ng website to another fake website. Tapos ito na yung nag-i-install ng malicious program sa computer mo. So ito po yung mga threats na pwedeng kumarap ng data kumuha ng information and it will cause damage to your computer, data loss, account theft, financial losses na din. So, kailangan po natin ng tamang security concept. Kailangan natin ng internet security. Kailangan nating mag-ingat sa paggamit ng different apps. And sana sumunod tayo sa mga network security methods na kinakailangan to avoid data loss and to avoid threats. That's all. Thank you.